You've been told your whole life that working hard is how you build wealth. And yet, the hardest working people in America, the ones pulling double shifts, picking up overtime, grinding 6 days a week, are statistically the ones with the least saved. So if effort isn't the variable that separates broke from financially free, what is? Today, we are walking you through every savings tier from $0 to $3 million, and the answer shows up at every single level. It's a Wednesday evening. You're 24, standing in a Walmart self-checkout lane with a very specific math problem in your head. You've got $38 left until Friday. The cart has dish soap, a bag of rice, 2 cans of black beans, and store-brand cereal. You already put the name-brand orange juice back. Now you're deciding between the soap and a second bag of rice. You genuinely cannot afford both. This is not a rough patch. This is most weeks. Here's what the data says about where you are. Bankrate's 2024 survey found 56% of Americans cannot cover a $1,000 emergency using savings alone. The Federal Reserve goes further. 37% can't handle an unexpected $400 expense without borrowing something. Not $4,000, $400. And 13% can't cover that $400 by any means. Not savings, not credit, not a family loan, nothing. So, when your 2012 Civic needs new brake pads, $320, and you have $41 until Friday, you're not making a financial decision, you're doing damage triage. Put it on the cart at 29% APR, call your mom again, just keep driving until the rotor becomes a $900 problem. You pick the cheapest disaster on the menu and move on. Here's the part that should make you furious. Princeton researchers found that financial scarcity costs people the cognitive equivalent of roughly 13 IQ points while they're in it. The system doesn't just make you poor, it neurologically impairs your ability to solve the puzzle of getting out. You are playing chess at a disadvantage while everyone pretends the board is level. At this tier, 3 a.m. feels like this. You check the balance. It's exactly what you thought. Somehow, that's the worst part. You're 25. 11 months of packed lunches, canceled subscriptions, and a boring social life. You did it. $1,000 in savings for the first time in your adult life. You screenshot it. It has a comma in it, and that comma feels enormous. Dave Ramsey calls this baby step 1, and he's right. It is a genuine psychological milestone. But here's what nobody warns you about. In any major U.S. metro, $1,000 is not 1 month of rent. It is not a root canal. It is not a transmission. In a high-yield account at 4.5%, your $1,000 earns $45 a year, $3.75 a month, 1 Chipotle bowl with guac. 3 weeks after the screenshot, the apartment water heater leaks. The landlord fixes the heater, but the renter's insurance lapse is on you. Replacement cost, $1,200. You're back to $0 and $200 in the hole. But here's what did change, and this matters more than the number. Before $1,000, you were checking your balance 4 or 5 times a day. This week, you checked it twice. The panic is still there, but the frequency is dropping. You haven't escaped scarcity yet, but you've started treating it as a skill, not a sentence. That identity shift is the foundation everything else gets built on. You're 28. 4 years of extra shifts, Sunday meal prep, and skipping enough weekend trips that you stopped getting invited to some of them. $10,000, a real emergency fund. Let me show you what this feels like in your body. Your phone rings Thursday afternoon. Dealership. Transmission is shot. Repair, $2,800. Every previous year of your life, that call triggered the stomach drop, the sweating, the mental spiral. This time, you say, go ahead, I'll pick it up Saturday, and you go back to your lunch. That is what $10,000 buys you. Not freedom, not retirement, sleep. You're now in the 55th to 65th percentile of American emergency savings, roughly 3 months of essential expenses. If layoffs hit tomorrow, you could actually job search instead of panic applying to warehouse jobs at midnight. Your next opportunity just improved not because of your resume, but because of your runway. But here's the math that should sting. If you're also carrying $6,000 in credit card debt at 24% APR, you're paying $1,440 a year in interest, while your savings account earns maybe $450. You are losing nearly $1,000 a year while calling yourself responsible with money. Pay the debt first. The math is undefeated. This is also the tier where most people quietly plateau. The hustle relaxes, dinners creep back in, a raise arrives and disappears into a nicer apartment. They're 34, they've had $11,000 for 3 years, and they don't understand why the number won't move. The next level explains exactly why. You're 32. 2 raises, 1 strategic job switch that bumped your salary 18%, and the discipline to not let your spending grow with your income, $35,000, 75th to 85th percentile of liquid savings for your age group. Here's what this number actually creates. Your manager asks you in on a Saturday, again, 3rd time this month. Last year, you said yes every time because you needed the goodwill. This time, you pause. You realize you have 8 months of runway if you walked out tomorrow. That knowledge changes the posture you carry into every conversation at that company. Most people negotiate from desperation their entire careers. You no longer have to. But here's the sneakiest trap in personal finance, and he takes down high earners constantly. At $35,000 saved, you are statistically average for your age group. Yet every ad, every Netflix show, every algorithm is calibrated to reflect the lifestyle of the top 5%, households with $1.9 million or more. So you feel behind. And when you feel behind, you do irrational things. You finance the truck your coworker has. You take a home equity loan for a kitchen renovation you don't need. You trade a working car for payments on something that impresses people you don't even like. The quiet internal voice that said you shouldn't have spent that voice is the most valuable financial asset you own. Most people silence it somewhere around $35,000. The ones who keep it are the ones we're about to meet. You're 36. 6 figures. You told exactly nobody. This is the Munger Threshold. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's late partner, was once asked for his best wealth-building advice. His answer, cleaned up, the first $100,000 is the hard part. Do whatever it takes. After that, ease up. The compounding does the heavy lifting. Here's the mechanical truth behind that. Contributing $12,000 a year at 7%, it takes about 6.8 years to reach $100,000. Your contributions drove 81% of that total. Your returns only did 19% of the work. But around $171,000, something flips. Your annual returns begin to exceed your annual contributions. From that point forward, your money is working harder than you are, and it only accelerates. Reality check. Only about 40% of U.S. households ever cross $100,000 in total net worth. Fidelity's data puts the average 401k balance across all ages at $146,000. If you're at 6 figures before 40, you're genuinely ahead, regardless of what the "made my first million at 27 dropshipping" crowd is posting. They're running on debt and performance. You're running on math. You close the app. You don't check it again that night. The anxious muscle has fully relaxed. You're 41. Here is the number that should feel slightly illegal once you understand it. If you stopped contributing today, never added another dollar, and simply left $250,000 invested at a 7% real return, it would grow to approximately $1.3 million by age 65, without you doing anything else. This is called coast fire. Your retirement is already funded on autopilot. Every dollar you earn from here can go toward actually living, the trip you've been postponing, the career risk you've been too scared to take. Now meet a real couple. Combined income, $312,000 a year. Investment accounts, $190,000. Credit card debt, $58,000. Home equity line, $112,000. Liquid savings, $1,800. The financial advisor told them if one of you loses a job, you have enough to survive about 5 days. 5 days on $312,000 a year. That is not a wealth problem. That is a behavior problem wearing a wealth costume. And it's happening in tens of thousands of American households right now, making more than 90% of the country still one bad month from crisis. There is no salary number large enough to outrun an undisciplined relationship with money. You're 46, $500,000, top 25% of U.S. households. The median American never reaches this number, not at 46, not at 56, not ever. Something quiet shifts. You stop checking your portfolio daily because the swings are now larger than your old monthly paychecks. A 3% down day erases $15,000 on paper. A 3% up day creates $15,000. You've stopped reacting because you understand it's the market doing what markets do. In a strong year, an S&P 500 return of 20% means your portfolio generated $100,000 while you slept. That is more than the median American household earns at a job in a year. Your money now has a more productive day than most people.
But the trap is identical to the $35,000 tier, just wearing nicer clothes. Lifestyle wants to grow with the balance. A 2024 interview with a couple worth $2.1 million, earning $480,000 a year, described themselves as living month to month, because the peer group they were measuring against had moved too. The people who convert $500,000 into actual freedom are the ones who quietly froze their lifestyle around $75,000 a year in spending and let the portfolio keep running. The math is not complicated, the discipline is the whole game. You're 52, 7 figures. You walk into your kitchen on a Tuesday morning, make coffee, and feel nothing particularly different. Because here's what the culture never told you. There are roughly 24 million millionaires in the United States right now. America created more than 1,000 new ones every day in 2024. The average age is 61. And $1 million at the 4% safe withdrawal rate produces $40,000 a year, below the median household income in this country. Your grandparents' million bought a vacation home. Yours buys a paid-off house in a mid-tier city and a Costco membership. A 2025 Schwab survey found Americans say you need $2.3 million to feel wealthy. Only 36% of actual millionaires consider themselves wealthy. Let that sit. Now I want to tell you about Earl Crawley. Earl spent 44 years as a parking lot attendant in Baltimore, never earning more than $20,000 a year. He packed his lunch daily, drove a used car, lived in the same modest apartment for decades. When a financial journalist found his story, Earl had quietly built over $500,000 in investments through consistent, boring index fund contributions starting in his 20s. The people who handed him their keys had no idea. That is what wealth actually looks like from the outside. If you pictured something different, someone sold you that picture. Above $1 million, the problems don't shrink. They change costumes. The cortisol stays. The 3 a.m. uncertainty returns, just with more zeros attached. You're 55. $3 million. Top 7% of U.S. households. Not the 1%, which starts above $15 million, but real generational wealth. At 4% withdrawal, $3 million produces $120,000 a year, inflation adjusted, indefinitely. A senior engineer salary paid by your portfolio for the rest of your life, while you do whatever you want with your Tuesday afternoons. But here is the thing I need you to hear, because it is the entire point of this video. At every tier we walked through, from the Walmart checkout with $38 to Coastfire at $250,000 to sitting on $3 million at 55, the level of financial anxiety people reported was nearly identical. The subject changed. The cortisol didn't. At 0, can I make rent? At $35,000, am I behind? At $1 million, what if the market crashes? At $3 million, is this even enough in San Francisco? Same nervous system, different clothes. Research is clear. Below roughly $100,000 in wealth, more money genuinely reduces suffering. Above that line, more money mostly reduces comparison, and comparison is a bottomless well, engineered to stay that way by every algorithm and ad platform built to make you feel slightly behind someone. Joseph Heller was at a party in the Hamptons when someone mentioned the host had earned more in a single trading day than Catch-22 had made Heller in royalties across his lifetime. Heller just shrugged and said, "Yes, but I have something he will never have. I have enough." That is the number almost nobody calculates, and it is the only one that actually matters. Your enough is probably smaller than the internet told you. It probably looks like a paid-off house, a boring index fund, and a Tuesday afternoon where nobody needs anything from you and you've got nowhere you have to be. So here's what you do tomorrow. You look at your number, wherever you are on this ladder, and ask yourself one question. Not, how do I get to the next tier? Ask this instead. What is the smallest thing I can do this week to stop leaking money out of the tier I'm already in? Start there. Build the habit before you chase the number. The math will do the rest. If this breakdown hit differently and you want to keep understanding money the way they never taught you in school, please like the video so it reaches the right audience, and subscribe to Decoded. We decode the psychology, the systems, and the real mechanics behind wealth, so you stop reacting to your finances and start understanding them, one video at a time. See you in the next one.